You know that feeling when you show up for an outdoor event and you look exactly like you wanted to. Your outfit's right, your skin looks good, your hair is cooperating, so you feel great. And then 2 hours later, something has gone sideways. Maybe your hair's gone flat. Maybe your face is shiny in a way that's not a glow. Maybe your feet are sinking into the grass with every step. Maybe you're just hot and uncomfortable and you can't wait to get back into your air-conditioned car. And you know what? It's not bad luck and it's not your age. This is actually a preparation problem. And today I'm going to walk you through 10 things you can do before your next outdoor event so that you look just as good at hour 3 as you do when you walk into the event. And I'm saving one for the end. It's the thing I wish I had known years ago, and the one thing that'll make the biggest difference for your next outdoor event. So let's dive in. You know, I have a story for you. About 4 years ago, I went to a wedding in Southern California, and I want you to picture this because it was absolutely spectacular. The ceremony was held at an old Spanish mission overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It was breathtaking. But what nobody knew when the invitations were sent out was that there was going to be a heat wave that day. And an old Spanish mission means thick stone walls, beautiful architecture, and absolutely zero air conditioning. And you know what? I arrived looking exactly the way I wanted to look. And within an hour, I was fighting my hair, my face was not cooperating, and my feet were not happy with my shoe choice on the uneven stone courtyard. And I spent the rest of that wedding managing my situation instead of enjoying it. And then I thought, you know, nobody actually tells you how to prepare for this. You get advice on what to wear to a wedding. Nobody tells you how to look great 3 hours into one. So that's what we're going to fix today. Tip number 1, what to wear to the drive there. This one sounds so simple, you might want to skip past it. Please don't, because arriving and staying fresh starts before you even step out of the car. If you're driving any distance for your event, what you wear for the drive matters. Sitting in a hot car in your event outfit for an hour is not a neutral thing. The seatbelt's going to crease across the front of your dress. You know what I'm talking about. The back of your outfit is pressing against the hot seat, and heat is building up in the car before the air conditioning kicks in. So here's a few things that make a real difference. If your outfit is all wrinkle prone like linen, consider wearing something else for the drive and then changing when you get there. I know that sounds like extra effort, but it literally takes 3 minutes. And in this scenario, I think it's worth it. If you do wear that outfit for the drive, try draping a light layer across your lap. That way the seatbelt's not sitting directly on your dress or the fabric your entire way there. And if you are wearing linen or silk or even cotton, just be especially thoughtful about this because those fabrics show every crease. And you only get one chance to arrive, so make it count. Now let's talk about the one foundation that most women overlook, and it starts before you even put your outfit on. Tip number 2, choosing the right undergarments for the heat. Nobody talks about this, and you know what? Everybody should, because the wrong undergarments in the heat will make you miserable. And there's nothing you can do about it once you arrive at the event. The key here is moisture wicking and breathable. You might be surprised about this, but regular cotton underwear will hold the moisture against your skin. And in the heat, that's the last thing you want. Look for Modal, bamboo, or moisture wicking nylon blends instead. Those are going to pull the moisture away from your skin. And the other thing they do is they dry much faster. And if you're wearing a dress or skirt, anti-chafe bike shorts or underlayer shorts are genuinely one of the best things you can do for yourself. I swear by them. They actually prevent thigh chafing completely. And they keep you feeling pulled together and covered no matter how the wind is behaving. And look for seamless options. I will link a few down in the description. So there's no visible line under lighter fabrics. And I have this tip for you, and I want you to write this down if you've never tried it. An anti-chafing stick or balm. If you experience any chafing at all, whether it's under the bust line, under the arms, or along the inner thigh, just a little swipe of this anti-chafing balm before you get dressed will make a world of difference. And you know what? For me, it was one of those things that I discovered that I can't live without now. I don't know how I lived without it. Okay, now we've got our foundation sorted. Let me tell you about the skin step that holds everything together for the rest of the day. Tip number 3, sunscreen for your face. Before I get dressed for any outdoor event, there's one skin step that I don't skip. And it took me way too long to find a product that actually works for this. I have really dry, sensitive skin. And for years, I was using sunscreens that would sting my eyes the minute it started to get warm and I started to perspire. And many of them felt heavy or greasy and sat on top of my skin. And you know what? I really did instead. I just avoided putting it on together. So no sunscreen. And that's not exactly what you want when you're going to a 3 hour plus outdoor event. And that brings me to today's sponsor, Frey Skincare. I'm so thrilled I found their Glow Me Plus tinted SPF 30 moisturizer. One product doing 3 things. And for an outdoor event like this, that is exactly what you want because it's SPF 30 broad spectrum. It's water and sweat resistant, and it doesn't sting your eyes even when you start to get warm or perspire. And I can't tell you how much that last part matters when you're standing outside in the heat. It's so lightweight, I genuinely feel like I have nothing on. It blends seamlessly and gives me a beautiful natural tint that evens out my skin tone without looking like makeup. It just gives me this nice glow that I can't get enough of. And it's formulated for every skin tone. I apply it directly to clean skin as my first step before I get dressed and before anything else. And it replaces my moisturizer and sunscreen in one while holding up beautifully all day. If you want to try Glow Me Plus for yourself, I have it linked in the description. Use my code CHAMP15 to get an exclusive 15% off your order. Okay, we've got the skin done. Now let's talk about what goes on your body because fabric and color choices make a bigger difference at outdoor events than most women realize. Tip number 4, color choices that photograph well and don't show sweat. 2 things to think about at an outdoor event: how it's going to photograph in natural light and how forgiving the outfit is if you start to perspire. Natural light is beautiful, but it's also unfiltered. Very pale colors like white and ivory can really wash out in bright sun. And surprisingly, they tend to show any moisture almost immediately. And then you've got very dark colors that absorb the heat, which makes you feel warmer and can show sweat marks almost just as quickly. The sweet spot for these kinds of events is mid-tone. Soft blues, dusty pinks, sage greens, warm taupes, and even rich jewel tones. And you know what? These colors look beautiful in natural light, and they're much more forgiving throughout the day. Also, think about patterns. You might be surprised, but a print or texture hides a multitude of things that solid color choices put on full display. If you love a solid, just go for it. I'm not going to be the one to tell you not to wear a solid. Just be thoughtful about the color you choose. Okay, now let's talk about fabric, because this is where my textile background really comes in handy. So tip number 5, choose the right fabric. For outdoor events in warm weather, there are 3 fabrics I come back to every single time: cotton, linen, and silk. Cotton breathes beautifully and is going to keep you cool. Linen is incredibly airy and gets better as the day goes on. Yes, it's going to wrinkle before you start for me. Yes, it is going to wrinkle. But at this point, linen wrinkles read as intentional and effortless, but not sloppy. And silk is probably my favorite for a dressier outdoor event because it's lightweight, drapes beautifully, and it regulates your temperature remarkably well. And it photographs like nothing else. In fact, at that wedding that I went to in Southern California, I had on a silk dress. What you really want to avoid as your outfit is anything synthetic or overly structured. Polyester is going to trap the heat against your body, and heavy structured fabrics that look beautiful in a fitting room can feel really suffocating outside. The goal you want to have here is a fabric that moves with your body and keeps you cool while still looking polished. And the key here is natural fibers because they do that better than anything else. All right, we're moving through this. Now we've got you dressed beautifully. Now let's talk about your feet, because this is where a lot of outdoor events can go very wrong very quickly. And by the way, we are about halfway through the video, and I've not told you about the one thing I've saved for the end. And it's the tip that would have saved that Southern California wedding for me completely. So we're getting there. Tip number 6, a footwear strategy. Can we talk about heels and grass for a moment? Because I have been there. You step out onto a lawn at an outdoor wedding looking polished, and within 5 steps, you're walking on your tiptoes, trying to keep your heels from sinking into the ground. And you know what? It's not graceful. It's not comfortable either, and it is completely avoidable. If you know you're going to be on grass or uneven surfaces, the answer here is a sole with even distribution. You don't want one that's going to concentrate your weight on one single point, like a heel. So one of my favorites is a pointed toe flat. It's elegant and it works beautifully for this type of occasion. Another one is heeled espadrilles. They're going to give you a little lift without the sinking problem of a heel or a stiletto. Block heels are also a really good choice. They're stable and dressy, and one of my favorite choices for outdoor events. And let's not forget about my personal favorite for any warm weather outdoor event, and that is a sandal. It could be a wedge or a flat, and a good sandal looks polished, keeps your feet comfortable in the heat, and handles almost any outdoor surface without a second thought. Save the stilettos for an indoor event, and I can promise you your feet and your posture will thank you. Okay, we've got our feet sorted. Now let's talk about the accessories, because a couple of small choices here can make the whole day a lot more comfortable. Tip number 7, jewelry choices that won't irritate your skin in the heat. You know, heat and the wrong jewelry are a combination that nobody tells you about. When you start to perspire, certain metals can react with your skin, which can cause irritation, redness, or even the dreaded green ring. See, the metals you want to avoid here are nickel and cheap alloys. And they are really common in fashion jewelry, but they just don't hold up well in heat and moisture. What you want instead is sterling silver, high carat gold, titanium, or stainless steel. These are all skin friendly and they hold up beautifully on a warm day. Also, think about the weight and scale of the jewelry. Heavy statement jewelry feels even heavier when you're warm. So lighter, more delicate pieces aren't just a style choice, they're also a comfort choice in the heat. And just like with clothes, the darker metals are going to absorb heat. So on a very sunny day, those can actually get really warm against your skin. So keep it light, keep it simple. You'll be really glad you did. Now let's talk about fragrance, because the heat changes everything about how a perfume wears. Tip number 8, fragrance strategy. Fragrance and heat have an interesting relationship. Did you know that the heat amplifies the fragrance significantly, which means the amount you apply on a cool day indoors is actually too much for a warm weather event. So what you want to do is apply less than what you think you need. And that might even be a lot less. And if you're wondering about what type of fragrances to wear, light florals and citrus notes work really well in warm weather. A heavy musk or an oriental fragrance can become really overwhelming, especially when that temperature goes way up. Think fresh, think airy, think something that complements the outdoor setting rather than competing with it. And what I like to do is I like to apply it to my pulse points and skip my neck if I'm going to be in direct sun. Did you know that the UV exposure can actually alter the chemical composition of the fragrance? And it can irritate sensitive skin like mine. So think of the inside of your wrists, the back of your knees, along your collarbone, or under your neckline. Those are going to be the best spots in the heat. And what I like to do is put a travel size of the fragrance in my bag. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Now let's talk about hair, because humidity does not care about your plans. Tip number 9, hair strategy for humidity. The single most important tip I can give about your outdoor event hair is this: work with your natural texture, not against it. Because fighting your hair in humidity is a losing battle. And you know what? You're going to exhaust yourself trying to fight it. If your hair has natural wave or curl, just embrace it. Humidity enhances those textures rather than destroying them. And if your hair is naturally straight, a sleek, low bun is going to be your best friend, because it's going to hold the shape and keep you looking polished regardless of what the weather's doing. And when we're talking about hot outdoor events, updos and low buns are going to be the most reliable choice for sure. What I love is they're going to keep the hair off the back of your neck, which keeps you cooler. They photograph beautifully from every angle, and they hold their shape in a way that down styles simply can't do in heat and humidity. You can also use an anti-humidity spray or product before you style your hair and finish it with a light hold hairspray. And if your hair does start to do something unexpected, a few bobby pins and a low ponytail will save you every time. So keep both in your bag. Okay, now's the thing I promised you at the beginning. The one thing that would have saved that Southern California wedding for me completely. This is it. Tip number 10, a touch-up kit. Here's the thing about outdoor events. No matter how well you prepare, hour 3 is going to happen. And the difference between the women who look great after hour 3 and the ones who usually don't is this: women who usually look great after hour 3 usually have a touch-up kit. And I'm not talking about a full makeup bag. And we're also not talking about everything you own. Just a small curated kit that will help you address the things that most likely need attention. And I want to tell you exactly what belongs in it. First off, blotting papers. They're going to absorb the shine without disturbing your makeup. And they're so thin, they take up almost no space in the bag. A tinted SPF lip balm, because your lips do need sun protection. And a quick swipe gives you sun protection, a touch of moisture, and a bit of color all at the same time. A travel size of your fragrance so you can do a light reapplication later in the day. A little concealer stick that's going to be perfect for any under eye or spot situation that might develop. I also like to include a few bobby pins and a hair tie because you know what? Hair always needs something. I also love to pack a few bandages because shoes and long events don't always get along, and they've saved me more times than I can count. And that's it, the whole kit. It fits in a small evening bag, and it means no matter what happens over the course of the event, you have what you need to handle it quickly and get back to enjoying your day. Because the whole point of preparing for an outdoor event is not to just look great when you arrive. It is still to enjoy yourself after hour 3. And that's the real goal. And now you have everything you need to do exactly that. Do you have an outdoor event coming up this summer? Whether it's a wedding, a family reunion, or a backyard barbecue? Let me know in the comments. You know I love hearing from you. Stay gorgeous, and I'll see you in the next video.